Alright guys, welcome to Full Spectrum Warriors. In this show we head over to Star Citizen's forums to read all your hopes, dreams and criticisms for this game. Now, bear in mind, in this show I do express opinions. Feel free to agree, disagree and vehemently disagree in the comments below, and let's discuss what's what. There's a discount code for a beautifully made RSI Scorpius in the description that you should take a look at if you're looking for Christmas ideas. I'll put the advert for that at the end of the show. Down with hard def. Just get rid of it. We've been told repeatedly that this wasn't really supposed to be in the game as is, so just ditch it. Michael Bay explosions be damned. Okay, so there's been a debate raging in the community for the past couple of days because CIG removed all the components in a ship taking damage, and it's instead now just the power plant. And I think how it works is if a part of your hull reaches 0%, any damage past that is damage to your power plant, which more often than not results in your ship exploding. Now, they've not came out and said why they've made this decision, and it seems like a pretty big step back from the direction things was going. I think everybody thought engineering was a bit of a mess, but it probably just needed balanced out. And as far as I was aware, completely killing a ship would no longer be a thing. But I feel like I've maybe heard mixed messages on that. I could be wrong. And a part of me does like the idea of being able to completely kill a ship. I like the explosive ending. I like knowing that those guys aren't just gonna press a one button repair all and then come and hunt me down and kill me. There's a lot of things I don't like. There's a lot of things I do like though. And CIG doesn't seem to be presenting a cohesive front on their approach to this, which is a bit worrying. I've heard people saying that the balance in the PTU right now is actually pretty good, especially around about time to kill. You know, there's not just fires breaking out everywhere on multiple components and everything going to shit, which sounds really nice, but that's not, I don't think, what people had in mind when they were getting engineering. Now, there's a whole converse side to this, where the people who weren't up for engineering at all and just thought it was a load of time-wasting nonsense, I don't know for certain, but I'm assuming they like this new way because it's got the explosive end. It means there's less for them to deal with when they're in battles. And it seems like, not is, it seems like CIG is trying to strike a middle ground between these two groups. And there's lots of factors at play here. So right now, for example, if you're in a fighter and you get taken out and then you repair your ship, and then you get taken out again, you're in a combat timer. You just have to sit there for however long is necessary until you can exit the menu. And it's total bullshit. Or you could just off yourself, spawn at a hospital, log back out, log back in your hangar, then reclaim your ship, wait 5 minutes, get in your ship, get stuck in a hangar queue, and then go about your day. Either way, you know, you're 20 half an hour later. Or you can get out your ship and repair the components. And because most ships don't have components, you see where this is going. It's just a shit show. So there's quite a big to and fro about this. And that's not engineering's fault, that's been the flow of the game for, you know, a couple of patches now. But engineering's definitely adding to that in its small way. But on the other hand, you get taken out, the guy flies off, you have this one opportunity to just repair yourself enough and limp back home and repair, which is a massive, massive upside. So yeah, CIG doing what CIG does best and opening a massive crevasse between its own player base on an almost weekly basis at this point. This guy's saying the lack of hard death would mean an expansion of other gameplay loops. For example, the SRV would have some limited reason to exist again. Or maybe even engineering SOS missions, where you would be able to put up a repair beacon. It's actually a fantastic idea. Just plodding around the verse, repairing up ships, being a little mechanic, arriving on the scene, fixing people up, sending them on their way. I feel like if a ship goes critical, it should be the pilot, owner, engineer's fault, not the attacker. Obviously, originally the attacker's fault, but they shouldn't be able to just keep shooting it until it blows up. There should be, like this guy says, safety trips. A sensor would trip, shutting the power plant down. Obviously, that's what would happen. Anyway, next. Let me attach fuses to grenade slots. With engineering on its way, I'd like to be able to quick access fuses from the grenade slots. We can put flares there now. This would be a nice feature in my opinion and should not require any new key binding. Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, you used to be able to put tortoises in those grenade slots. And tortoises were technically fuses, so this should be really easy. In fact, just bring back tortoises as fuses, super fuses. Actually give your hull extra armour. Sorry. Shield arrays. When they gave us the shield arrays in my Talion Redeemer and now my Asgard, CIG said they would be better and regenerate faster than size 3 shields. This is clearly not what the new shield concept does. There is no logical reason to put that many shields installed on a ship under these circumstances. The fix? Make the array work like an array, like a system designed to function like it was designed as an array, not as a spare parts bin. Shields charge when they are idle, slower than when they were active, but they charge. Have the idle shields switch on automatically, at whatever charge level they are at, as soon as the active shields go down, perhaps with a 1 second delay, instead of only on shield component destruction, which is dumb. Give the ship's engineering panel the ability to swap idle and active shields without a delay at any time. Adjust swap time and idle recharge time as needed for balance. This way they behave like an array and are robust, as promised. Yeah, the ships with multiple shields, so like the Tally I think it has 6, and when the 2 active shields are destroyed, you can use the MFD to enable another 2 shields. And it's like the single most useless thing you've ever seen in your life. I don't know if that's the final implementation, I really doubt that it is. I would have hoped for something a bit more automatic, a bit more something that makes sense. Fatbird Actual. It's so funny because Eve did it perfectly ages ago. Eve shields for even the smallest ship have a constant regen and peak regen rate at 1/3 HP. Due to HP pool size, passive regen doesn't matter for the smaller ships during combat, but starts creating DPS thresholds when you get to the big ships. Lol, that almost solves the whole light fighter versus capital ship dilemma. Oh, it does solve that. Yeah, and a basic rebuy screen when you die that asks what you want back and where you want to respawn. Like what Elite has solves the entire ship and FPS insurance system, but instead CIG wants to develop this insanely complicated time sync kiosk system where you have to physically go claim and pick up your stuff, presumably one by one. CIG is allergic to copying things that work from other games and always has to over-engineer its own solution. I have nothing to add here. Component locking and unlocking is a bit cumbersome. Would be really nice if the engineering console had the ability to lock or unlock all ship ports, or even better yet, specific components that the engineer knows in advance they need to service. Otherwise he needs to walk all the way to the bridge, unlock components himself, service them, and remember to relock components. Asking the pilot is an option, but that seems like an unnecessary extra step and not available for solo ships. Yeah, that's a great idea. That should be a thing. Probably the best year for this game in a long time. Huge amounts of effort put into content. I don't tend to play it, but thousands do. Some amazing ships. L21 is just fun and sexy at the same time. Pace of development is impressive. More ships becoming viable in combat. Probably the biggest array of viable fighters that I can remember, even the Humble Hawk. Interesting cap, sub-cap gameplay emerging, Vulcan updates finally coming through, VR, nobody had that on the cards for 2025, engineering, which adds more depth to these ships and more control. This guy's response. Engineering was delayed from patch 4.0 along with fire propagation. As of today, 12/12/25, not a single new gameplay mechanic has been added to the PU throughout the entire year. Let us not forget the introduction of the Apollo ships without any development of the medical gameplay mechanics, providing only respawn related ammunition, the med gel, a mechanic that is still stuck at tier 0. They have spent the entire year taking ships that already existed, modifying them a bit, and selling them to you under a different name, as if they were new and at full price. Meteor from Mantis, Prowler Utility from Prowler, Asgard from Valkyrie, oh, and making the paints separate as well. Don't forget that bit. 1 year of development has been lost with temporary events, 50% or more of which have been completely broken, making participating in them an actual nightmare, with recycled assets from abandoned parts of development, such as Hathor, where they reused the maps created for the dead game mode Theatres of War, and Wicklo's Head, which we saw in 2016 livestream and was used to create a Banu helmet. They have tried to monetize everything that is essentially unmonetizable, such as blades, Warbond armor packs, plus ship skins, where you couldn't buy the armour or the skin separately. And now, in the last month of the year, they are in the PTU trying to finally introduce a new mechanic this year, and all you can see from the changes to weapon damage, shield HP and hull HP is the equivalent of a kid in school who hasn't studied anything the whole year and then, in the last 2 weeks before the final exam, tries to cram everything they ignored all year. And a personal note, the fact that this has been the year with the highest funding ever, and that there are people like you applauding it, only shows, at least in my opinion, that this game has no salvation, and that its development is never going to progress even while receiving hundreds of millions per year, of which, in my view, 80% or more is directed towards Squadron 42. For me, this year has been a year of recycled development. Damn, bro. Why you gotta lay it out like that? Jesus. But wait, so you missed server meshing implementation on January 29th with the addition of pyro and jump gates. You missed a water physics update. You missed the addition of the Nyx system, 2 new star systems in 8 months. You missed the whole ADS, Onyx and instancing of mission content and personal hangars. You missed the dynamic clouds and weather. You missed the cargo updates. You missed the addition of the early reputation system. You missed the Wicklow thing altogether. You missed the Vulcan integration. You haven't been in the PTU with fire and engineering or today's VR. I think your head may have been stuck up something all year and thus you missed quite a lot. Try pulling it out, maybe get someone to help with that. Maybe take a little holiday cheer. Oh, shots fired on the Spectrum like... Jesus. Okay, just to touch back on, limiting ships to 2 shields needs to be rethought. Having shields that only come online when others are destroyed is functionally useless. In that scenario, you are likely getting hammered by multiple armour penetrating shots, hence your active shields getting destroyed. So let's look at possible scenarios. Your backup shields were destroyed first, so when your primary shields are destroyed, they do nothing. Your coolers were also destroyed, so now your backup shields are essentially useless. Your power plant gets destroyed, so now your shields are useless and your ship is probably going to explode. You get lucky, only your primary shields are destroyed and every other critical component and backup shield are somehow unscathed, so your shields switch over and operate normally. But wait, your attacker is still shooting you. Oh no, your shields can't regenerate from 0 as you're getting shot and are, in fact, still useless. Just wanted to throw that into the mix today, because that is how much thought has been put into this. This is a thread about the Polaris shields being dropped by 67% and then being put back up by 11%. And here we've got Camuro. The good news, Polaris has more shield HP than an 890 jump. Polaris shield HP 270,000. 890 jump shield HP 246,000. Ah, fucking hell. So the military Corvette now has just a little bit more than a luxury yacht. That's fun. The salvage issue for recyclers. The target size exceeds the available storage space. Can we adjust the absorption capacity or enable secondary fragmentation? The 1.9 thousand SCU simply cannot make salvage operations effective. Sorry, I don't do a lot of salvaging, but I never realised this. So if you go to the trouble of salvaging an Idris, instead of it just taking what it can, it just says, sorry, that's too big. That's hilarious. What fun we're having today. I'm gonna find something positive. Here's a positive one. In-game transfer. Hello, I have received a large sum of money from someone inexplicably. I don't know where this money came from or who sent it. Could you please tell me how to deal with this money? That's absolutely crazy. There's so much money floating around the game that people are potentially having their progress ruined by just getting sent billions, possibly. And the only way to get rid of it is just to send it to somebody else randomly and do the same thing to them. And I know what you're thinking, it's billions, just keep it, buy all the ships. But some people like playing the game. I like playing the game. I mean, they said they weren't going to wipe before 1.0, but I don't think they anticipated this. I mean, if it's possible to track down all that infinite money making glitch stuff and just wipe it from the economy, then fair enough. I really don't want to wipe. It makes things a lot harder for content creation if I don't have access to ships and stuff like that. And I have to add, grinding for rep and things like that onto just trying to get some footage. And it's not just that, it's like there's this feeling that it's tainted money as well. It's ill-gotten gains. There's a fear that if you get caught with it in your account, then, you could face the consequences. And I've seen the prices on the grey market. It's like £5 for 4 billion or something like that. And that's like the minimum. That's the minimum you can buy. It's absolutely nuts. CIG have definitely got their hands full these days. The Hatsune Miku Beam Kit Plus Paint. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, fuck nah. But wait, there's a bit of a story here. How to say this? I saw a laser and I kindly asked Niku CIG's stream if I could please have my Hatsune Miku Idris. Here is his answer. Ah, it's in French. Never mind. Too long, didn't read. Post it on Spectrum, reach 200 likes and we'll consider it. Just because I really like Niku, I'm going to reach 200 upvotes. May Hatsune Niku be with you. Austin 98, let's fucking go. Okay, I'm going to leave a link for this one below, just because we need to get that to 200. It's as simple as that. Just to see what happens. I can already tell that's going to be the thumbnail for the video. Just to annoy and delight people. Such is my nature, unfortunately for you. Oh my god, this is the best idea ever. Time alignment for ship weapons targeting systems. You'll notice that when you use 2 different guns on a ship, and you engage all guns fire group, you get 2 separate pips. And oftentimes spread very far apart, so you actually just end up wasting time and ammunition. So you actually just end up wasting time and ammunition. This can be fixed by having a time alignment adjustment, so the gimbal offsets to align guns with the fastest projectile's predicted impact with the slowest, so they all converge on one target point. Every time you change your load, you can just readjust the alignment. You just look at your HUD and dial the adjustment control until both pips are aligned and become one pip. Man, that honestly sounds like heaven. What a fantastic idea. Fire extinguishers should make you go vroom in 0G. Yes. Yes, they should. Please, we need this. Upvote that. Great idea, but in 0G, pushing a mass with no compensating in a quantum drive power pip adjustment equals speed change. Would it be possible to have the new quantum system allow us to underpower the quantum drive once in quantum? Purpose: to allow us to optionally slow quantum down for extended travel times. Allows for on-board future crafting, repairs and tuning. Well, I would really hope so. Not even just having to underclock it, just setting the speed to whatever you like. It has been mentioned previously that quantum boost will go from the current top end of SCM speed, so it's entirely possible we won't have nav speeds anymore. So the more freedom we have with quantum boost, the better. I really hope that isn't the case. Losing nav speeds in this game would absolutely crush my freaking soul. So if quantum boost is quite linear and has quite a limited directional cone, then that's going to be a problem for me. In fact, I would take master modes over that any day, and I freaking hated master modes. I just want to be able to enjoy flying around. I don't want to be in a quantum bubble to go 1200 meters a second. And I know that's technically what we are doing now, but it feels like normal flight. The only difference is you need your quantum drive engaged to be able to fly that fast. I get the ominous feeling this one doesn't end well for me, and will probably be the worst iteration of all the flight models that we've had so far. But it's my opinion that being stuck in a slow spaceship is one of the worst feelings in this game. And I don't mind that in atmosphere, that's kind of a cool mechanic, I like that. But the automatic slow down stuff, and especially in space, it kills me, like, it really does. So hopefully whatever quantum boost is, you have a decent amount of directional control and you have a decent amount of speed control. But yeah, the whole quantum bubble thing, absolutely hate it. All that nice atmospheric re-entry, catching on fire and stuff like that either won't make sense or won't be a thing anymore. And that'll be a sad day. But if they limit flying at speed anymore, then yeah, I would prefer we just kept master modes. This last one was an idea that I got in my comment section from Arcade Alchemist, and I'll try and boil it down. Basically, you take on NPC crew as part of a personal org within the game, and those NPC crew will level up in certain areas depending on the tasks that you assign them. You basically have the option to go through a process that allows you to switch between these characters. Now, each of these characters will be leveling up progressively on their own, but when you're inside them, so to speak, that will obviously be accelerated. This way you can have a party that you can level up in different directions. If there's a mining skill set, that'll be for that one guy. If there's FPS, if there's piloting skills, things like that. If you lose one of these players, you have to effectively purchase a new one and start from scratch. Now, there was a lot more to the idea, and I've kind of just picked the best bits that I like. But it's a fantastic concept, and if Death of a Spaceman is to come along, I thought this would be a far better idea than the one that we last heard of from CIG. Obviously, you won't be able to just flick between characters. You would either need to actually die or pay to go through a process to have your consciousness transferred to take over that NPC for a while. It's a pretty cool idea. And I love the idea of having your own little NPC org that you can put to task on different things, or just assemble them all on your ship and go off getting up to stuff. I think, personally, it's a long shot. I think NPC crew is going to be so far in the future, just with the way the game runs and the way it's been developed and so on. I mean, you can tell, telling those NPCs what to do is just not going to be a thing. I don't think it's ever going to be a thing. They have had so much work done on them. And even to this day, they are just standing around, all facing the same direction in big clumps. I'm guessing it's mostly a server performance issue, and if they ever get all of that stuff sorted, then maybe. But I really like this idea. And even if it wasn't explicitly real, you know, they just existed as virtual characters on a ledger. You know, you have one guy who you keep sending away to do mining missions that levels them up in mining and gives you a passive income. And there's like a 10% chance they can just die or whatever. So that when you actually die, and you have to choose between them all which one to become, you have a sort of pre-leveled skill set for each one. It's an interesting concept, and it can be done without them actually being NPCs in the game having to exist. If that makes sense. Anyway, that's enough for today. I don't know how long I've been sitting here for, but I can't feel my toes. There will be no videos tomorrow. I'm gonna give you guys a break. I know you must be sick of hearing my voice, glorious though it is. But hang around for that ship model advert coming up, and thank you all for watching again. Stay safe out there. 07 guys. Anybody remember this place? Or what about this model? Or even this model? The UEES Retribution in all its glorious detail. This was made by Pigeon Spaceport, who are now officially licensed by Cloud Imperium and have now laboured to bring you this for you to own for yourself. I've managed to secure a partnership with Pigeon Spaceport, and you can get a 7% discount using the code in the description. These are fully ABS injection moulded with their own custom tooling, incredible detail with very high fidelity and functional wing articulation. They come in the Avalanche, the Stinger and the standard paint sets. There's a full metal base stand, collection grade wooden packaging, and they have years of industrial design and engineering experience. If you pre-order them now, you will get free shipping and tax-free delivery, as well as a special numbered wooden base stand. You should treat yourself, you've worked very hard this year. Managing fleets and hunting down rare armour sets is a very daunting task for any citizen. A big thank you to Pigeon Spaceport for allowing me to get this out to you guys in as fast a time as possible. Merry Christmas.